Hello and welcome to my studio. My name is Helen Waters and I am one of the artists contributing to Cat Connection's Pet Art fundraiser. If you're not familiar with the fundraiser, it's a fun way to support Cat Connection. You send in a photo of your pet along with a $15 donation, and one of our volunteer artists will send you back a 4x6 drawing or painting of your pet in a style of their choosing. And what I usually do is a colorful colored pencil rendition of your pet, and this one's slightly bigger than the one I do for the Pet Art fundraiser, but the style is similar. And what I'm going to do in this video is demonstrate how I create a drawing such as those that I do for the Pet Art fundraiser. So let's get started. The first thing that you'll need to do is gather everything together, such as lots of colored pencils. Okay, you don't need as many as this. Essentially, if you have a good selection of basic colors and maybe a few extras that you really like, that should be fine. You will also need a pencil sharpener and a kneaded eraser, one of the squishy ones. You will need drawing paper. You will need tracing paper if you decide to do your drawing that way. And I use a brush, such as this fan brush, just to be able to brush any of the crumbs of colored pencil off of the drawing in order to keep it clean. It's nice, but you don't need it. You can get all of these at any good art supply store. Next, pick a photo of your kitty or of your friend's kitty, such as this handsome one of Sydney, courtesy of my friend Byron Bull. And we're going to be drawing her today. And then choose which colors you would like to use. I generally pick maybe half a dozen and then keep a few extras nearby in case I need them. It can be any sort of color you want. They can be complementary colors. They can be variations of all one color, like all blues or all greens. It just depends on what you want. What I'm going to use for Sydney is a combination of blues, orange, and yellow. And so let's get started. So here we are at my drawing board. As you can see, I've focused the camera, quite closely on the drawing itself. And I often start the drawing, just doing it freehand, but you can also use tracing paper, in which case you would just place the tracing paper over the photograph, trace around the important outlines, flip it over, trace again on a piece of scrap paper, and then lay it carefully down over the piece of paper you're going to use for your final drawing and go over it again. And you can do this with an HB drawing pencil, or even a number 2 ordinary pencil will work just fine. So I've already done that. I've used the tracing paper. So now that we have the basic drawing down, I'm going to lift up some of the pencil line. And this is so you don't see it underneath the colored pencil when we lay it down. And as you can see, I'm not rubbing it back and forth. I'm just pressing and lifting. You have a little bit more control when you do that. And you also don't disturb the paper surface. If you do too much rubbing, it can start to fray a little bit, and you'll be able to see little bits of the surface coming apart, and that's not what you want if you are using a colored pencil, because then it will interfere with whatever you want to do. So just a little more here. I'm going to be using dark colors on some of these, but I'll just make sure that nothing is standing out too terribly much. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can start putting down some color. From here, I don't usually worry about the drawing being absolutely 100% accurate because I'm trying more to get the feel of the personality of the cat. So I'm going to begin by focusing on the cat's eyes, the eyes and the nose, because if you get the face right, then you can really capture the personality. So I'm going to start Sydney's eyes here with a very dark blue. Okay, so now that we've got these beautiful eyes and her face established, I'm going to lay down some of the darker areas, which are, sort of underneath her chin, over here, and then a little bit down in the back. And she's got a few stripes up here, so I'll lay those down as well. And I'm going to use the same dark blue. If you want a really deep dark, feel free to go over the areas. You probably saw me doing that with the eyes. You can go over it more than once. Sharpen the pencil frequently, and that way you can get the color down and cover most of the white of the paper, which is what you want to do if you're really trying to get it dark. When I do this, I don't mind if you see the pencil strokes in the final drawing. To me, it's just part of the style, but you can always smooth them out if you want. And when creating shadows, using cool colors like this blue or a deep purple or a green are a good choice, since they tend to recede to the eye and they tend to look a little darker and more further away. So I'm going to use this same blue. It's a Prismacolor Violet Blue if you're interested. And I'll get those shadows down. Okay, next I will use this medium blue right here to start blending the shadows in a little bit. Okay, now I'll use a lighter color to highlight the areas, especially around the face. Yellow, in particular, tends to jump off the page and grab the eyes, so I'll use it here around the whisker area and around the nose and around the eyes. Then I'm going to use some orange to blend in the highlighted areas and give it some contrast. I use both a regular orange and a kind of yellowy orange. So I'll use both of those to kind of fill everything in. Okay, we are definitely getting there. One thing I want to show you is that if you make a mistake or if you want to remove color from anywhere where you've already put it down, you can use your kneaded eraser, and like we did in the beginning, just press and lift, press and lift, and that will begin lifting up the color so that you can either change it or, just improve the shading, which I am going to do right here. I want just a little more shading in there. And so, and there's a bit of a color right here that I don't want, so just press it and lift. Do that instead of scrubbing, because the scrubbing will not lift the colored pencil. If you want to remove a darker region that won't come up as easily, you can actually use a piece of Scotch tape and gently go over the part that you want to remove with a pencil or another sort of tool. So let's see, now we've got an opportunity to really focus in on the face. So let me just restate this with a little bit more, so I can blend it in just a little better. Same thing over here. Okay, there we go. And now it's time to focus in on these gorgeous eyes that Sydney's got. As you can see, I've already put down a very dark blue on the pupils, and I'm going to go over that now with a dark red. And the reason I'm doing that is it will darken the color even more. It will make it look like an almost black, but it really will bring it to life. What I'm using for that is this Prismacolor Tuscan Red. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is. So I will go ahead, give that little extra definition around the eyes. And now here's my favorite part, which is really getting into the eyes. In order to give her a good contrast to what we've already used, I'm going to use two really striking yellow-green eyes so that they really stand out. And then I'll finish up Sydney's nose with a very light pink. There we go. And then all we need is a few finishing touches. Gonna put a few whiskers in, not too many, because I don't want them to take up the entire drawing. So just 3 or 4 on each side, so we know it's a kitty. And a little bit of shading in the background. Not too much shading, just enough to make the cat the focus of the drawing. And then sign it, and you're done. And a very dapper kitty indeed. So here we are with our finished drawing of Sydney. I think she looks very handsome. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you got some good ideas. Enjoy Whiskers and Whiskey, and thank you for supporting Cat Connection. Bye.